Now, the next journal that we need to complete is our cash book payments. And for some weird reason, we don't know why, only for the purpose that it makes it's simpler to explain this company of ours, Rush Manufacturing, still makes use of a checkbook. And when we issue a check, we get the check counterfoil, and hence all our cash transactions has the reference number CC for check counterfoil. So because the two tabs that I created is pink, you're going to take a pink highlighter and we are going to highlight all the transactions that refers, just trying to find out which pink it is. It looks like that one. Okay, that refers to check counterfoils, or that is marked CC, that we are going to record in our cash book payment. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 transactions. Oh no, there's more. 9. Oh, lots here. 10, 11, 12, and 13. It's important to count them, guys, because if you know exactly how many there is, then you're not going to miss a line item. Okay, so again, what I then did is in my cash book payment calculations tab, I have brought in each one of the line items, and then I showed you how I did the calculation in order to be able to complete the cash book payment. Now, what I'm doing in my cash book payment calculations tab is what you will do on the page that says calculations, that is just really lines in your answer book. Okay, so what did we do? We identified the transactions. Okay, what happened there? That just says journal. Okay, let's see if I can fix that so it actually gives us the right journal. Okay, cash book payment journal. That's what we're looking at now. Okay, and we have identified the applicable transactions by marking them with a highlighter. Now we're going to look at them one by one. So, and suddenly there's a bit of a delay here on my machine, don't worry. So the first one we have here is on the 4th. We have Tall Fountain Mall, where we paid for business parking. And business parking, they say to us, is not an account in our books. The account in our books that we're going to post it to is motor vehicle expenses, and the full amount was given. Now, business parking is a service that we are paying for, so normal VAT will apply. Now, when we complete the cash book payments, it's important to identify the main column. And in this case, the main column is bank, because if we are using a checkbook, everything will go through the bank account. And now we have 3 additional columns, excluding now the VAT input. So we have, well, including VAT input. So we have creditors control. So when we pay a creditor from our bank account, we will record it under this column. If we make a purchase, we will record it under this column, and anything else will be recorded in sundries. Okay, but in our VAT column, if VAT is applicable, we are going to calculate it and we are going to complete the VAT column. And as always, well, it's actually a little bit different in the cash book payment, because normally with the other journals, we had document number, date, details, and folio. Here we don't really have details, even although if you had details, I don't think anybody would really penalize you. But in this case, we say it's a name of a payee. The only reason we're saying name of payee is because when we use a checkbook and we make a payment to somebody, that person is called a payee. Okay, so in this particular case, everything goes through the checkbook, and therefore we can put name of payee, but really in other cases detail would have sufficed. Okay, so that's the layout of the journal. Let's look at the calculations one by one. Okay, So in the case of our business parking, motor vehicle expense, we post the full amount to bank, the 612.50. We calculate motor vehicle expenses. See, that's the account given for us there, by dividing, like always, with 1.15, and we record the difference as the input VAT. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so what's going on there? What happened now? Sorry, man. It's a bit of a delay here. Should be my one document number in one line. Don't know what's happening here now. Okay, that's good. Maybe I just clicked some way by mistake. Okay, so document number is given. We can just record it. The date is given. We can record it. The name of the payee is Tall Fountain Mall. We can record that. Okay. No folio given. Sorry, my creditors control did the same thing. So the full amount goes through the bank account. The account that we are looking at is not creditors control or purchases, so we must identify the account under detail as motor vehicle expenses. We calculate the amount by dividing with 1.15, and we record the VAT input. Okay. Second transaction is where we drew a cash check for petty cash. So somebody went to the bank, gave it in the cash check, and now we're taking that cash and we are putting it into our petty cash box or whatever. So how do we do that? We post the full amount to bank like always, and we will post the full amount to petty cash, because it's not like we are paying for a service or anything, or for inventory. We are simply transferring our cash from one account to another, so no VAT applicable. So what we do here, we fill in the document number that was given on the date that's given. Okay, we know that it's cash, and the full to bank account, put it under sundries and details, and we can record the full amount there. And we are going to put nothing in the VAT column. Okay, go back to our calculations tab. Now we look at this thing that happened on the 9th. So on the 9th, we paid Poland traders. Okay, it's a payment on the account to Poland traders. No settlement discount was received because the account was not paid in full. They give us the balance at the beginning of the month, but it isn't applicable because it's not a settlement. Okay, so the amount that we paid is the only thing that is relevant, and that is what we are going to record. We are going to post the full amount to the bank account, and we are going to post the full amount to creditors control. So let's get now here to this transactions on the 9th. That was the one with Pollard traders and the control account, because I was busy explaining that to you, that there's no VAT applicable. So we can simply go there and we can put in the document number that was given, the date that was given, the name of the payee that's given, full amount recorded under bank, and full amount recorded under creditors control. Sorry. Okay. So that's the third transaction. Remember, there's 13. So let's look at number 4. This one pertains to smackdown traders. And we are purchasing trading inventory. So we are going to post the full amount to bank account. We are purchasing this on cash. We are going to calculate purchases by dividing with 1.15, getting to just over 37,000, and we are going to record the difference as the input VAT. So when we do it here, we can say, okay, document number given, date given, name of payee given, full amount recorded under bank. Purchases recorded by dividing with 1.15, and the difference between the two amount is the VAT. Okay, now we can go to the next one. Now this one, you see here is something different, because in our given info here, we were not given an amount here. I think what you have in your given info is in fact a question mark. So it says to us that what happened is we purchased trading inventory at an amount of 40,894 rand, but then we got a 5% trade discount. So what do we have to do? Now remember, I always say to you that the discount is always given and received on the VAT exclusive amount. So the first thing we have to do is we have to calculate the purchases after discount as follows. And this is what we do. We take the amount given, okay? We divide it by 1.15 to take out the VAT, and then we multiply that with 95%. Why 95%? Well, if we get a 5% trade discount, we are only paying 95% of the original price, because 9% and 5% and 95% add up to the whole thing being 100%. Okay. So if we take the VAT exclusive amount and we multiply by 95%, we get to the amount that we paid for purchases, which was the 33,782.61. Okay, so that is purchases. Then we must calculate the VAT input on it as follows. We take the amount for purchases and we multiply it with 15% so that we can calculate the VAT amount. And then, of course, the creditor's control will be the sum of those two amounts, the 33,780, the purchases, okay, and the VAT, and that'll give us an amount of 38,850. And then we are going to post the full amount to our bank account. Okay, so let's do that. So what we do is we say here that was given, the date was given, the name of the payee was given. We post a full amount in the bank account, even though we know that that is we calculated the purchases first. After we calculated the purchases, we were able to calculate the VAT, and by adding those two up, we got to the creditor's control, and really only then did we get to the bank account. Okay, so remember, when you get a transaction like this, you start with the purchases, and instead of working from the left to the right, you work from the right to the left and calculate like that. Okay, so far so good. Let's have a look at the next transaction. Okay, in this case, we purchase cash files from airline stationers. Okay, and it's quite a simple transaction. We post the full amount to the bank. We calculate postage and stationery because we don't have a account called files. They tell us that the account name is postage and stationery. So we calculate postage and stationery by dividing with 1.15, and then we simply record the difference as the VAT. So let's quickly do that. The document number is always given, the date given, the name of the payee given, the full amount recorded in the bank. Okay, but there is no column for that. It is not credit control, it's not purchases. They told us that the account we must post it to is called postage and stationery, so we record that account under details. We divide by 1.15 to calculate the amount, and we record the difference as the VAT. Okay, that was a simple one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, here it says we are now purchasing a microwave oven for the staff room from Game, and the account that we are going to post to is staff equipment.
Okay, staff equipment, when we see staff equipment, we immediately know that VAT is not allowed. So we will simply post the full amount to bank, and we will post the full amount to staff equipment under sundry because we don't have a column for staff equipment. Now let's do that. The document number was given. The date was given. We know that the game is the payee, and we record the full amount in the bank. The account to which we are going to post as the contra account is staff equipment, and because under staff equipment VAT is not allowed, we record the full amount under sundries. Okay, next one. Oh, here's a lot going on. Okay, so now we have to be careful. The amount was not given, okay, in that column. So it says to us that on the 20th, we settled our account with Tinderbox. We got a 5% settlement discount, and the balance owing at the beginning of the month was 5,796. Now we must calculate the amount that we paid. Okay, so how much did we pay? Well, we start with the balance at the beginning of the month that was 5,796. And then we must now go and look at everything that says Tinderbox. We will see that we purchased from Tinderbox on the 11th. Now we can find that information at this point in two places. Either we can find it in our given info, or we can simply find it here in our creditors journal. Okay, look there. We made this purchase here for at Tinderbox on the sorry, what? Something is wrong with this entry. I'll have to go and check this quickly. Am I in the right one? Okay, so we made the purchase from Tinderbox here. So now we can use this information to do our calculation. So what do we say? We made purchases to the tune of 32,000 from Tinderbox on the 11th, but we returned some of that on the 16th, and the amount was 322. So we have to add the amount purchased, subtract the amount returned, and then we will get to the total, and then we must multiply this with 100% minus the discount. We know that the settlement discount is 5%, so we're going to multiply it with 95% again, and we are getting the 33,037.20. Okay, then we are going to post the full amount to bank, and we are going to post the full amount under creditors control. Okay, so let's do that quickly. The document was given, the date is given, we know the name of the payee, all of that is given. So what we did, we had to calculate the amount that was paid. We did that, and we saw that that was 33,037. Getting to that amount was not easy. It wasn't simply a matter of posting, but we did it in any case, and then we record the full amount under creditors control, and nothing else needs to be recorded. Okay, so now we go to the next one. Here it says that on the 21st, the owner came and he drew some money. Okay, so he took money out of the account. So what we are going to do there, we're going to post the full amount to the bank, and we are going to post the full amount under drawings in sundry. Because if the owner takes money, it's simply a drawing. So let's have a look at that. We have the document number, we have the date, we know it's the owner, well, but cash, or you could have said cash drawn by owner, it doesn't matter, but in this case, it's just cash. The name of payee is a cash check, and therefore it will just read cash. The amount that he takes is the 4,200. There is no column for drawing, so we have to record that drawing under sundry, and there is no VAT applicable on this transaction. And so we are simply going to record the full amount. Now here, I see here that something went wrong. So I'm just going to delete that thing there in its totality. And then when I get to that line or that cell, I will just put in the correct amount again. Okay, so now let's look at the next transaction here. So that was the drawing by the owner. The next thing that happened is that on the 25th, we go to Starfish Equipment and we purchase storeroom shelving. They tell us that we don't have an account called storeroom shelving, but we do have an account called furniture and fittings, and we must post that under furniture and fittings. So what do? Well, we post the full amount to bank as always. We calculate furniture and fittings. There's no column furniture and fittings in our journal, so we're going to record it under sundry, divide by 1.15, calculate the amount, and we record the difference as the input VAT. Let's do that. Okay, so we have an amount, the document number, we have the date, we have the name of the payee. We know that the full amount leaves our bank account. Then we see what's happening, and because something weird happened earlier, there's now not an amount in there. So remember, we say everything that we record in this journal actually comes from the calculations. So here we say it's the 18,000. Okay, and there it is. And then the difference, the VAT is the difference between the two amounts, and the account is furniture and fittings. Okay. Almost done with this journal. Okay, 3 more transactions left to go. It says that on the 26th, we purchased trading inventory for cash from Lincoln Park Industries. We know how that works. Full amount leaves the bank. We calculate purchases by dividing with 1.15, and we record the difference as the input VAT. So we're quickly going to do that. Document given, date given, payee given, full amount leaves the bank account. This is purchases. We calculate purchases by dividing with 1.15. We record the difference as the VAT, and we don't need to do anything else. 2 transactions left. I almost want the drum roll or something, but nothing's going to happen. Okay, so what happens on the 28th is we fill our vehicle with petrol. So what we do is we make a payment for business petrol. And we know that petrol is a 0 rated item, so there is no VAT applicable. Well, there is VAT applicable, but it's 0. So the full amount is going to be recorded under business petrol. If they don't put anything for us in brackets, then we must assume that we do have an account called business petrol. And so we're going to record that under business petrol. There's no such column in our cash book payment journal. And so we are going to record it under sundry. Now let's have a look at that. Saying we have the document number, we have the date, we have the name of the garage. The full amount leaves our bank account. We have to post it to the correct contra account that's called business petrol. And since there's no column, we do it under sundry, and we record the full amount there under business petrol. Okay, wonderful. Now, why does it look here as if I said I have 2 transactions left when I only have 1 left? Okay, I'll check what's going on there now. Okay, 1 transaction left. Also on the 28th. On the 28th, we draw a cash check to pay monthly wages. Okay, that's simple. It's full amount posted to bank and full amount posted to monthly wages under sundry. There's no VAT applicable on wages. There is other taxes payable on wages like pay as you earn, but that does not apply to this transaction because we haven't done that yet. Okay, so what do? We say, let's quickly calculate, record the document number. We know the date. We know the name of the payee. It was once again a cash check. full amount left our bank. We identify the contra account in sundry, and we propose the full amount there. There's nothing wrong there. Okay, so what we then do is we go and we total all our columns just by adding it all together. And these are the amounts that we get when we total it. Okay. And now this is simple. We know that bank is an asset account, and when an asset account is going to decrease, we are going to credit that asset account, and so therefore everything else will have to be debited because the bank makes up the total, and then under the sundries we are going to debit the individual accounts.